Hey, sweethearts, get comfy, 'cause I've got a story for you tonight, and it's a little emotional, a little spicy, and very gay. If you support LGBTQ plus stories and love soft boys with messy feelings, hit that like button, subscribe, and let's get into it. Ready? Okay, here we go. I haven't been back to the lake in years, not since the summer everything changed. There's something about that place that makes memories stick. Maybe it's the silence, broken only by cicadas and water against the dock, or the way the sun turns everything gold in the evening, or maybe it's because that was the summer I met Eli. I was 17. My parents rented a cabin like they always did, 1 week out of the city. No internet, just books, canoes, and awkward family dinners. I was used to being alone up there. No kids my age, just trees and old people. But that summer, someone moved into the cabin next door. He showed up on the second day. Skinny, kinda scruffy, baseball cap turned backwards, a little older than me, maybe 18 or 19, dragging a cooler and a huge speaker that played The Strokes way too loud. I watched from our porch like a creep. He didn't notice me at first. That night, I saw him down at the dock, sitting cross-legged, hoodie up, staring at the water like he was listening to some secret it was telling him. I wanted to say hi, but I didn't. The next day, I was skipping rocks by myself when he walked up. "You suck at that," he said, smirking. I laughed, blushed, probably turned 5 different shades of red. "I've never done it much." He picked up a flat one and flicked it. 6 skips, show off. "I'm Eli," he said, offering a hand. I shook it. "Ben." After that, we were inseparable. Fishing in the morning, swimming in the afternoon. He taught me how to climb the old tree that leaned out over the water. I taught him how to make grilled cheese over a fire without burning it. We didn't talk about girls or boys or anything that felt too close to real life. But there were moments, like when we raced back from the water, dripping and laughing, and he pushed me down in the grass and pinned me, his chest against mine, breathless, close. And then he pulled away, grinning like nothing had happened. Or when we'd lie on the dock at night, side by side, and he'd say, "Ever think about just staying here forever?" And I'd say, "Yeah, every second." It all came to a head on the 5th night. There was a storm rolling in. The air was thick and electric. We were on the porch of his cabin, playing some dumb card game. He looked at me, really looked, his eyes darker than usual, serious. "Do you ever feel like people don't really know you?" he asked. I nodded. "All the time." He leaned in. "I feel like you do." And then he kissed me, not soft, not unsure, like he'd been holding it in since the second we met. I kissed him back. Everything went still. The wind, the trees, the whole damn world. When we finally pulled apart, he just whispered, "Okay, cool." Like it was the most normal thing ever. And maybe for him, it was. The next few days were unreal. We didn't talk about what we were. We didn't label it. We just kept doing what we were doing. His hand brushed mine under the table. He kissed me when no one was looking. We snuck out at night and curled up on the dock under a shared hoodie. I felt more alive than I ever had. But the thing about perfect moments, they don't last. The day before we were supposed to leave, I woke up early, went next door to find him, but the cabin was empty, completely. No note, no text, no goodbye, just gone. His cooler, his speaker, his hoodie, everything packed up like he was never there. I asked my parents if they saw him leave. They said they didn't even know anyone had moved in next door, that the cabin had been vacant all week. I laughed, thought it was a joke. Then I checked my phone. No messages, no pictures, not even a contact. It was like Eli had deleted himself from the world. But I know he was real. I can still feel the weight of his hand in mine. Still remember the taste of his chapstick. Still hear the sound of his laugh echoing across the lake. Sometimes I wonder if he was just passing through. Not just the town, but my life. Like the summer version of someone I was never supposed to keep. But I'll always remember him, the boy on the lake, with a crooked smile and too big hoodie, who kissed me like he meant it, even if no one else remembers. I went to a Christian boys' school in the middle of nowhere. Blazers, hymns, mandatory chapel. No phones after 10. Girls? Don't even think about it. And boys being into boys? That was a one-way ticket to expulsion. So yeah, I learned to stay quiet. Keep my head down. Get through it. Graduate, get out, start real life somewhere people didn't think eye contact was a sin. But then I met Caleb. He sat 2 rows behind me in Bible class, tall, blonde, always had ink on his fingers from drawing in his notebook. He never paid attention, didn't pretend to. First time he talked to me, it was after class. He said, "You always look like you're trying not to scream." That's cool. I blinked at him, said thanks, and he smiled like he meant it. After that, he started sitting next to me at lunch, then walking with me to the dorms, then studying in my room. Even though we both knew he didn't care about homework, we didn't talk about feelings, but he'd bump my shoulder when no one was looking, call me Angel Boy just to mess with me, draw dumb little wings in the corner of my notebook. One night, he showed up at my door with a hoodie that wasn't his and said, "Roommate snores, I'm crashing here." He climbed into my bed. Didn't ask, didn't try anything, just laid there next to me, close enough that I could feel the warmth from his legs, smell his shampoo. We stayed like that, silent, buzzing, until he whispered, "You know I'd kiss you, right?" And I whispered back, "I know," but neither of us moved. That became our thing, touching, but not touching, looking, but not saying it. A secret language built on glances and tension and the way his fingers would brush my wrist when we passed notes. We found little spaces to be alone, an empty music room, the chapel stairwell, once under the bleachers during a rainstorm, everything around us soaking wet, and us just sitting there, knees pressed together, pretending we weren't shaking. It wasn't just about sex. We never even had sex. It was something smaller, softer, more dangerous. The day everything fell apart was picture day. We were all in the gym in our stiffest uniforms. Forced smiles, flashbulbs. Caleb was standing in line behind me, smirking like usual. He leaned forward and said, "If you smile like that in the photo, people are gonna think you hate Jesus." I laughed, too loud, and someone noticed. One of the older kids, church boy, perfect GPA, the kind that always sits front row and snitches for fun. He looked at us, really looked, and then whispered something to the teacher. By the time dinner rolled around, the dean had called us in. He had a folder, said there were concerns about conduct, said someone had seen us embracing behind the art building, said if we didn't explain ourselves, there'd be consequences. Caleb didn't say a word. He just stood up, looked me dead in the eyes and said it was a joke. He's not like that. I was messing around. And I just sat there. Let him lie. Let him take it. He got suspended. 3 weeks, no contact, no warning. They made him call his parents in front of the chaplain. Made him promise to correct himself. And me? I got moved to a new dorm. Given a pamphlet. Told to rethink who I let influence my thoughts. I kept the drawings Caleb had slipped into my binder. Tiny angels with cracked halos, smiling in ways I couldn't. When he came back, he didn't talk to me, wouldn't look at me. He sat in the back row again, hands in his pockets, head down, like I was a ghost. A month before graduation, I found a note in my locker. Folded 6 times, no name, just, "I still think about the rain." See, that night, I walked past the gym after lights out. Saw him standing by the fence, smoking something cheap. I didn't say hi. Didn't say anything. I just stood beside him. He didn't look at me. But after a long silence, he said, "If we'd met anywhere else," I nodded. "I know." We never touched again. Never kissed. never said goodbye, but I still feel him sometimes. When it rains, when I hear someone say, angel, when I catch myself looking too long at someone I shouldn't. We pretended we were just friends, but we weren't. And even if no one else ever knows, we do.